Hi guys, today I'm going to be talking about my Physics 102 final project. My first experiment is mainly about how does battery health changes through multiple battery cycles. So we have to understand what does battery cycle mean and what does battery health mean. In this case, in order to understand this, um, let's consider the smartphones that we are using. So in order to charge our phones, we are plugging in the phone, right? And at the end, we are taking our phones out and using. So this is discharging our battery. This one charge and discharge period means one battery cycle. So battery health mean that um, after multiple battery cycles, the battery drains. So this means the battery health is decreasing. In your system preferences in your phones, you can see your battery health, and after it goes below 80%, the production company recommend you to change your battery. So in my experiments, I am going to be investigating this concept with a more simpler way, of course. So in this case, I am going to be using 3 rechargeable batteries. Let me show you this one. And this normal battery and this rechargeable batteries are very different from each other. As you may see, they have color difference. As I saw in multiple sites, most of the rechargeable batteries are green. I think it is mainly about the environmental problems, environmental things like green. And the main chemical difference comes from, as you may understand, it is rechargeable and it is not rechargeable. The normal batteries are not rechargeable. But at the same time, the lifespan of this battery is way higher than this one. So I'm going to be using these rechargeable batteries. I'm going to be using this charger to charge these batteries, and it will show the percentages here when I plug these batteries, the percentages of the battery. And I'm going to be using this torch in order to discharge the battery. So first I am going to put these batteries inside the charger. So I have put this in, and as you may see, the battery percentages are 5% now. I am going to charge these until a certain point and take all these out. And then I am going to plug these into the torch. I am going to turn the lights on, but at the same time, when I turn the lights on, I am going to start a stopwatch. The most important reason why I'm doing this is that I'm going to be observing these battery cycles multiple times and see the time intervals that it takes for this battery to drain. So in order to observe these differences, I am going to use the time intervals, the time that it takes for this battery to drain. So I am going to be using this procedure again and again, battery cycle procedure, and see how does the battery health changes. So the first experiment was mainly about this one. Our second experiment is mainly about the chemistry of the battery. So again, I'm going to be using the same materials, but for a different purpose. So again, I'm going to give an example from our smartphones about my experiment. So in our smartphones, the time that it takes for the battery to from 80% to 60% is very different from 20% to 0%. So we have the same percentage intervals, but we have different time intervals in this case. So it has, of course, some chemical reasons, and I'm going to be observing this. So in order to do this, I am going to be charging these batteries again until a certain point, for instance 5%, and then using the torch, I am going to be discharging these batteries with the same percentage intervals. So for instance, when I charge it until 5%, I'm going to discharge it through 4%, 5 to 4, 4 to 3, 3 to 1, like that. So we will have the same interval, but we will observe that the time intervals, so the time that it takes for the battery to from 5% to 4% will be different from 3% to 2%. So I am going to be observing this through my materials. Thanks for listening.